Welcome to Relay, second grade. The standard for the week is RL2. Recount stories including fables and folktales from diverse cultures and determine their central message from message, lesson, or moral. Our account statement is I can recount stories including fable and folktales from diverse cultures and determine the central message, lesson, or moral. What is a fairy tale? A fairy tale is a short story that features fantasy characters such as fairies, elves, giants, and mermaids. Fairy tales are important because they usually teach us a lesson. Some famous fairy tales you may know include Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, and Ugly Duckling. Every fairy tale usually starts with once upon a time, which means it took place in the past, and usually ends with happily ever after. There are elements of a fairy tale. Some of the elements of the fairy tale are usually they begin or ending words. They begins with once upon a time and they usually end with lived happily ever after. They usually possess good character or evil character. Royalty or a castle usually are present. Magic happens. Animals talk and come to rescue. Love is in the air. There is usually a problem and always a solution to every problem. The setting in a fairy tale, the setting is where the story takes place. For example, Little Red Riding Hood takes place in the woods, while Cinderella takes place in the castle. Characters in a fairy tale story. The people in the story usually there are both good and evil characters. Can you think of some characters you know in a book? Look at this prince. He is one of the characters in one of the famous fairy tale book. Usually the characters, we use adjectives to describe the characters. In this case, we use the word adjectives bold, brave, gallant, handsome, strong, charming, clever, and kind to describe this prince. Cinderella is a classic example of a fairy tale story. At the beginning, Cinderella is treated like a slave, and she was miserable. The key incident in the story, which portrays the theme Cinderella as a traditional fairy tale, is when Cinderella is treated like a slave at the beginning and the fact she was miserable. This is the assessment. So in the assessment, I want you guys to choose any kind of a classic fairy tale book that you want. After you finish reading that, we are going to complete these elements of a fairy tale chart. I want you guys to tell me the title of the fairy tale story, good character, evil, animals, if there is any royalty or castle, magic, love. The problem and the solution.